Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the portfolio. Again, I want to start off the video by saying thank you to all the subscribers, all the viewers on the video. Definitely appreciate all of the support. If you guys are new to the channel, new to the video series, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, make sure to hit that bell button to get alerts and updates on all new content posted on the channel. For today's video, in response to a number of different viewers on the channel, I want to take a look at Ford Motor Company, the largest holding in the portfolio. If we back out here as well, I want to take a look at the overall performance of the portfolio. It's been doing very nicely over the past few months of trading. As you can see here up on top, 1 month up 12, 498.90, 5.61% of the overall portfolio. The portfolio value just over 235,337. So very good performance. A lot of that has to do with Ford Motor Company, the largest holding in the portfolio. You can see in the middle here as well, I have a few options trades that I've been doing as well. This particular options trade is a put contract. To remind you guys, a put contract is requiring me to buy the stock if it gets below the strike price of $9 up on top there. You can see the expiration date will be later this week. It's going to be a very interesting week with Ford Motor Company. It has an ex-dividend date coming on the 23rd, as well as an earnings report on the 25th. So there could be quite a bit of movement. The ex-dividend date, there's always a little bit of movement, but the more significant date will be the 25th, in which there could be a large swing in the price of the stock, either up or down, depending on some of the guidance that is going to be discussed on that earnings call. Nevertheless, going back to the put here, you can see I have 10 contracts. Essentially, that is 1,000 shares, 12 cents per share. So on the bottom here, you can see that equates to a $120 options premium payment to the portfolio. Fortunately, Ford has been doing quite well, so I don't believe that particular option will execute. That should expire, and I'll simply keep that $120 options premium. Let's scroll down to Ford here and kind of see how the stock has been doing over the past few months of trading. It's been doing very, very well. Up on top, you can see 1 day, last day of trading, last week, 0.31% in the green. For the past 1 week leading up to the ex-dividend date, again on the 23rd, it's up 1.05%. 1 month, 12.7%. 3 months, 12.18%. But over the past 1 year of trading, it is down still to 14.31%. And over the past 5 years of trading, you can see that downward trend here from a high of over $17 back in 2014. Spiking here as well, over 13 in January 2018. It has dropped quite significantly here. So I think there's still some opportunity for value investors, which we'll talk about some of the metrics. Price to earnings, price to book, price to sales ratios, I think are very attractive. It has been rebounding, but again, I think that a contrarian investor will still have quite a bit of room for some very good gains. Again, it really depends on how Ford does over the next few years of trading. The earnings report on the 25th could be quite significant. A lot of investors have some optimism that Ford has been turning around its operations. It has been restructuring, not only with its management, a new CEO, I think a new CFO as well. Some upper management, upper level executives have been changing. It's also been shifting a lot of its focus to U.S. production of SUVs. It has abandoned its car production in the United States. I think it's also pulling out of overseas markets as well, in South America, in China. So we'll have to see how that impacts some of its financials. But on the bottom here, another very good reason to jump into Ford. It has a very good dividend yield. As you can see, the last dividend payment was 7.83%. The next dividend payment will still be quite good, over 6%. It will be a little bit lower than that 7-8% just because it has rebounded about 12 to 13% over the past 1 month of trading. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the earnings report. Again, as you can see in the middle here, on the 25th will be its earnings report after hours. There could be some movement with the stock, so it could be a very good time to jump into the stock in anticipation of a very good earnings call, not only with its earnings per share, but also with its guidance moving forward. Again, a lot of changes in its operations. U.S., it has been shifting its focus to its SUVs and its trucks, which are very, very profitable. It's also been refreshing its lines as well. SUVs, there's a new Explorer, new Escape that has had some favorable response. It's also coming out with some smaller vehicles, which a lot of folks are excited about. The Ranger, the Bronco, its Lincoln division has also been doing very well with the Navigator. And then it also is going to be coming out with a Mustang-inspired electric SUV. So that could be very exciting. It's going to be a little bit curious to see exactly what that is, but it's supposed to be a very interesting vehicle. Again, inspired by its sports car, the Mustang. But we'll kind of see how everything turns out here. But I am very optimistic that there should be a good earnings report. I think this stock will bounce maybe a couple percent after the earnings report on the 25th. Again, that is after hours. But going back to some of its financials, it's got a very good dividend yield. Current forward dividend yield is over 6%. The dividend payout ratio is also very manageable in the 30 to 50% range. Over the last 5 years, it's averaged about 42% or so. It will be higher this year, this next upcoming dividend payment, just because of the depression in the price of the stock. A little bit over 65%. But I do believe if the Ford stock still starts trending back up, that dividend payout ratio will go back down to a very reasonable and sustainable 30 to 50% range. So again, I have a lot of optimism in Ford Motor Company. Again, the two very significant events this next week will be the ex-dividend date on the 23rd. Again, to remind you guys, to remind new investors on the channel, if you want to jump into Ford to get that 15-cent per share dividend, you have to buy tomorrow on Monday, the 22nd. Then on the 23rd, the ex-dividend date, you can sell the stock off or thereafter and still qualify for that dividend. But just keep in mind that on the 25th after hours, again, I've stressed this a few times in the video, there will be an earnings report. There will be coming out with its actual earnings per share. And then also, more importantly, the guidance for the company surrounding its new focus on SUV and large truck production in the United States, pulling out of markets in South America and China. Then also looking at some of its other businesses, including its Ford Credit business, which brings in quite a few dollars, quite a bit of revenue for the company overall, as well as commodity prices, foreign exchange volatility, and currency. A number of different things that will be discussed on an earnings call. So there could be quite a bit of movement. But again, I still believe there is quite a bit of room for upward potential with Ford Motor Company, even though it's down 14.31% and 36.88% over the past few years of trading. I think it's still a very good stock for value investors as well as contrarian investors. The price to book ratio is 1.06, which essentially is looking at a value metric, looking at what the book value is compared to the price per share of the stock. So basically market price per share over book value per share, a metric for value. That's very, very good. 1.06 is very good for Ford Motor Company. Price to sales ratio is 0.24. Price to sales ratio is looking at the market value per share over the sales per share. Another way of looking at that is simply looking at the sales per share divided by the stock price divided by the sales per share. Again, another metric of value, very good. And as I've talked about quite a few times with Ford Motor Company, its price to earnings ratio, currently just over 10, is very good for the company. So for all of those reasons, the price to book, the price to sales, the price to earnings ratio, it's a very undervalued stock in my opinion. The dividend is a very large, over 6%. I think it's a sustainable dividend, and there's been a lot of very positive changes in the structuring of the underlying business that I think will equate to more profits moving forward, and more profits will mean a greater stock price moving forward. So I like Ford Motor Company. As you guys have probably noted on my prior videos, I think this is a very good time to get into Ford Motor Company. Yes, you may have missed a little bit of the upswing here over the past 3 months. It's up 12.18%, but I do believe this is still a very good stock to jump into. Again, it'll be a very exciting week. The 23rd will be the ex-dividend date, and the earnings call will be on the 25th later in the week. So let me know if you guys are looking at Ford Motor Company for either its dividend capture, or looking for a contrarian play jumping into the stock, maybe trying to do an earnings call swing trade, maybe just jumping into the stock, looking forward to the next year of restructuring, as well as its new models coming out of the market, the Ranger, the Bronco, and the Mustang-inspired electric SUV, along with the refreshing of the Explorer and Escape lines, and also the Lincoln premium brand doing very well, not only in the United States, but also abroad, especially in China. It's a lot of movement there. Let me know what you guys think about Ford Motor Company. Do you guys like Ford Motor Company? If you do, let me know if there are different reasons from what I discussed in the video. And if you do not like Ford, please let me know in the video as well. why you would not jump into Ford Motor Company at this point. So not to make the video too long, I'll kind of end it here. Again, this video was inspired by a few comments on the channel wondering what my thoughts were about Ford Motor Company moving forward, including the management changes, the restructuring of its business, the refreshing of its product lines, and also jumping into some of the electric mobility space as well, not only with its Argo AI acquisition, but also this Ford Mustang inspired electric SUV that should be coming out in a couple years or so. Let me know your thoughts. And with that, I'll kind of end it here. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, if you guys enjoy the video series, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you do subscribe, make sure to hit that bell button so you get alerts and updates on all new content on the channel. And again, let me know in the comment threads down below if there's any video topic you want discussed. Always looking for new videos to put out and new stocks to research. So please let me know in the comment threads down below. And until next time, we'll see you then.